special night here at Citizens Bank Park. It's Paws Bark in the Park. That's right, an assortment of man's best friend roaming around the ballpark here tonight, getting a chance to watch a little baseball, though they'd like to eat a baseball. Watch a little baseball. It's Game 3 between the Phillies and the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Matt Stairs, dog owner, dog lovers. We get set for tonight's ball game. David Buchanan is making his return to the major leagues, getting a third opportunity. After a great spring training, the season hasn't gone the way Buchanan had hoped it would.
Well, it hasn't. And in the spring training, he was relaxed. He was on the mound. He was fighting for that 5 job. And all of a sudden, a couple of injuries, he moved into the number 3. And I don't know if he jumped up and he put too much pressure on himself. First 5 starts. Not very good, 0-5, high ERA. His next 3 starts after that, what he did is he calmed down and he trusted his stuff. He was using his fastball. He had a good cutter. He was hitting his spots. Last 2 starts was not very good at all. His fastball was too much in the middle of the plate. You could just tell he had no confidence, especially the game in Arizona. He was throwing fastballs and he expected it to get hit hard. You could just tell when a pitcher gets on the mound and he feels good about himself. His fastball was flat. He says, okay, just please hit it at somebody and let's get this over with. Hopefully we see tonight that he went out in the minor leagues, learned on how to hit the corners and use his cutter, mixed in his changeup. His changeup was his best pitch last year, and he has not used it much this year.
Well, 11 earned runs in his last major league outing. He hopes a little better here tonight. He's going to get 4 starts before the end of the year. He'll be opposed by Julio Teheran. Now, Teheran has been okay against everybody else, but very good against the Phillies, particularly over the last couple of seasons.
Well, it's called confidence, and he has the confidence pitching against the Phillies. He's got a tremendous slider. Now, last year, he actually used a lot of changeups versus the Phillies. This year, he's been using a lot of slider. That's his out pitch. His fastball's been getting hit around quite a bit, but he has the ability to throw the slider when he needs to for strikes to get a hit and a put-away strike. And you can see his last 6 starts. He's 4-1 with a 1.21 ERA. This guy is pitching with a lot of confidence. He gets the ball. He knows if he makes quality pitches, the Phillies hitters will not make contact.
All right, he's coming off a decent start his last time out. He didn't get the victory, but he pitched well for 6 innings. We'll see if the Phils can get to him and win the series against the Atlanta Braves. Well, everybody settle in, including the dogs. Get a splash of water, get some vittles. We're ready to go. Lineups at first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Budweiser, still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independence Blue Cross, live fearless. Learn more at IVX.com. Bank Park, the kids from the Phillies Baseball Academy. There have been an assortment of baseball academies throughout the Delaware Valley, and that happens each and every year. And these youngsters had a chance to spend some time there this season. They got their Phillies uniform. That one's from the Cardinal O'Hara High School. And there's ones from all over the place. The Episcopal Academy, of course, here in outside of Philadelphia. And the kids got a chance to wander around the warning track before the start of tonight's ball game. Pretty nice treat. Let's take a look at the Braves lineup, brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Markakis, Oliveira, and Freeman, followed by Swisher, Peterson, and Simmons. Bethancourt starts behind the plate. Michael Bourne bats 8th in center, and Tehran bats 9th. And returning to the mound here in the big leagues is David Buchanan, making his 11th major league start. Numbers aren't great, 75 hits in 49 innings of work. So he's got a brand new glove, and hopefully he's got his repertoire the way it was in spring training. And the first pitch of the night is hit foul. So we're underway. It's 0-1.
You can see the Budweiser scouting report on David Buchanan. 4-pitch pitcher, average velocity 89.1. And he's averaging 17.2 pitches per inning, which I'd like to see him get down to about 16 or 15.5.
Another liner this time fair down the left field line, going to the corner. And Sweeney will dig it out, but pulling into second is Markakis with his 34th double of the year. Well, Matt, anywhere in the Nissan keys to the game you say don't give up a leadoff double?
Well, today, I mean, it's going to be about Buchanan. One, I guess it's going to be is he has to have confidence in using this fastball. He's only been using it 41% of the time. Establish a good fastball. And two, think knees in and out with the plate. You know, you have the pitches, fastball down, changeup down, slider down, cutter down. So think knees and lower.
Well, now here's Oliveira. Oliveira 3 for 8 in this series. He's hit in 3 straight games overall for the Braves. Fastball inside, 1-0. Oliveira had a big game in game 1. He had 4 RBIs. A little out in front of that changeup. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. See his season numbers. He started out the year in the Dodgers organization, was acquired by the Braves. Everybody was wondering, well, why would the Braves give up their top infield prospect, which they did, to acquire a 30-year-old in Oliveira? Well, they really liked him in the offseason. They put in a bid for him as well when he was a free agent after he defected from Cuba, but the Dodgers won out. That one's up the third base line, foul. So when he became available, they didn't have to worry about paying the free agent bonus money that the Dodgers paid. So he came by a little cheaper, except for the number of players that were involved in that trade. It's kind of interesting. I thought it was kind of interesting that the Dodgers would give him up after signing him to so much money.
Exactly.
But they needed some pitching. They got Jim Johnson and Luis Avilan and Alex Wood. Not to be mistaken for Jim Jackson. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Oliveira. Foul ball off Rupp. He grimaces in a little bit of pain. Since he was sent down, as you see, the home plate umpire Tom Woodring, Bill Miller is the first base umpire. He's the crew chief. Since he was set down, David Buchanan made 4 starts for the Iron Pigs, allowed 6 earned runs in 23 1/3. He was 1-2 in those 4 starts. Boy, he's really trying to change up him to death here.
You can tell after David throws a pitch and he's messing up on almost every pitch. And he just has that little smirk like, okay, we need to get it down. Get out in front of it. It almost seems like he's throwing uphill right now. He's fighting that release point for his hand. Bounce this ball. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
That one's tapped to the left of the mound. Buchanan off the hill, throws to first, not in time. There just wasn't a lot on that throw, unfortunately. Over to third base goes Markakis. So runners on first and third. Well, Murph, we've seen a double and an infield single now for David Buchanan. The numbers are very telling for him on a number of different avenues.
They are, Tom, and I think you guys said it best. You know, all eyes will be on David Buchanan tonight because here's a guy that has had success at the major league level. He just has not been having success recently. So the question is, why is that? I think a lot of it comes down to two C's, the confidence and the command. Take a look at, Matt, you mentioned this. 41% of his pitches are fastballs, and opponents are hitting .411 against that fastball. 27% are cutters, and they're hitting .362 against that cutter. He's not throwing it with a whole lot of confidence, and he's not throwing it with a whole lot of command. And Matt, you and I were talking about it before the game when you talk about what he needs to do tonight. Two things: establish that fastball and know that he has a pitch to fall back on, and command that cutter. When he commands his cutter, he's been very good. When he does not, he has not been very good, and he gets hit around. So those two things are the two things they'll be looking for tonight out of David Buchanan.
No, and that's a great point, Murph. If his command of his fastball, it all starts with his cutter. If his cutter is where it should be, then guys are not going to be looking out over the plate for his fastball. This year his sinker has been a little flat. He doesn't have that downhill tilt, and that's the reason why his fastball is being hit for an average of .411. I mean, think about it, .411, almost 50% of the time base hits are coming out the fastball, so he's hitting too much of the plate, and he's pitching with no confidence with the fastball.
Well, I will tell you, he has thrown a ton of changeups to the first three hitters here tonight.
And guys, you know, one thing that's interesting about David Buchanan as we've gotten to know him over the last 2 years is that he is a very confident young man. And, you know, he believes in himself. You know, we talk about the confidence issue out there on the mound. It looks like he's pitching without a whole lot of confidence. In talking with him, he certainly does not lack that confidence. So I guess, Matt, you know, you've probably been there at times in your career. He's got to go back and search for what he was doing and how he felt when he was having success in the big leagues.
He has to go back to last year, but also spring training. And I know it's spring training, but boy, he was good. And he had a rhythm going, too.
Well, I mean, sorry, and in spring training, he was pitching with a lot of confidence. Now, take it is spring training numbers. But the fact that he only walked one hitter the whole spring training, you know, it means that he was coming in and he was being aggressive with the fastball and his off-speed pitches.
Right, and that hitter was not until the exhibition game.
Right.
Which was remarkable. Nick Swisher's the batter. Swisher 1 for 8 in this series. Bases loaded for the Braves. First pitch outside. And it's 1 ball and no strikes. Outside 2-0. Back toward the middle, off the mound. There's 1 and 2. A run does score, but it's a double play. Phillies will exchange the 2 outs for the run. 4-6-3. And Jace Peterson's coming up. Oh, that ball was hit hard, but it was slowed by the mound, and it turned out to be in a perfect spot.
Well, if you can get out of here with 1 run with the bases loaded, none out. Amen.
Huge. Yep. Peterson is 3 for 8 in the series. All 3 hits came in game 1. There's a fastball. And it's 0-1. 92 miles an hour on that pitch. He definitely has enough velocity. Comes back with a changeup. 1 ball, 1 strike to Peterson. Peterson 4 for 23 on this road trip for the Braves. He's ahead 1-2. Matt, has he thrown a cutter yet tonight?
Yeah, he threw one.
Oh, the one that Freddie Freeman
got hit by.
Right. There's a curveball.
See, that's where I noticed a little frustration coming from David. That's a pretty good pitch, and he hasn't thrown a curveball yet today, and then they fouled off. You know, like, oh, okay, he's hoping that they swing and miss, or he's hoping that they make contact and hit at somebody.
Another curveball, which they do hit it at somebody, to Cesar Hernandez. So, not too shabby. Bases loaded, nobody out. A run does score, but Buchanan just allows the one run. So we'll go to the bottom of the first. It's the Braves 1 and the Phillies coming up. The Phillies lineup brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. After Hernandez, it'll be Herrera and then Altair. Ryan Howard's at first base batting cleanup. Darnell Sweeney hits fifth. Cody Ashley bats sixth. And the bottom third of Rupp, Galvis, and Buchanan. Now they will face right-hander Julio Teheran, just 24 years old. It seems like he's been around forever. He has 38 lifetime victories, 5 of those victories against the Phils. A high ERA, but a better than 500 record this season.
Well, and plus he's got 164 hits and 167 innings, which is nice. Based on balls are up a little bit, but he has made the adjustment on where he stands in the rubber now.
He starts on the first base side of the rubber as Cesar greets him with a first pitch swinging. Simmons will give way to Swisher.
You take a look at the Budweiser scouting report. 4-pitch pitcher. His average velocity is 91.1 miles an hour. And he enjoys pitching the Phillies with a 5-3 with a 2.56 ERA.
Yeah, 2-0 this year with an ERA of 1.29. Cesar's a different leadoff hitter than he was early on this season. He used to take pitches.
Well, that's what a leadoff hitter is supposed to do.
Hasn't done that as often. Odubel, the batter, 302 with 8 home runs, 40 runs batted in. He takes high. Odubel is now 10th in the National League in hitting. Amazing. Since the All-Star break, he has the 3rd highest batting average among National League players. Joey Votto's at 390. David Peralta of the Arizona Diamondbacks is at 365. And then there's Herrera, who's at 356. He's also the leader among rookies in doubles. 2 balls, 1 strike. And here's his home run last night, which was a heck of a battle.
It was 7th pitch. Fighting out some fastballs low and away, fouling off, and then gets a pitch, middle of the plate down, and just drops the barrel.
Outside, 3-1.
Let's get back to talk about Cesar Hernandez leading off again. Leadoff hitters are supposed to see pitches, which helps your teammates recognize how hard guys are throwing, what kind of movements are going on. You get to first base, you get a bigger lead, you see what kind of pickoff he has. Swinging at the first pitch doesn't help.
Out to shallow left field again. Swisher will call off Simmons.
Now, if you're a leadoff hitter, a Ricky Henderson, who can crank one out of here for a home run, a quick lead, that is fine. But as a leadoff hitter, you don't know what type of fastball's coming in. You don't know what kind of movement's coming in. Last night, his first at bat, ball one, he swung at the second pitch changeup weakly. You need to sacrifice your first at bat as a leadoff hitter to give your teammates a chance to see what he features.
Well, yeah, and even though they've seen Tehran a lot this year, he's different.
He's standing on the different side of the rubber now.
Correct. Slider outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And the reason why he's standing on the first base side is now he feels like he can get his fastball and slider inside to left-handers. So he's going to be working that side of the plate a lot versus righties and lefties. As you just saw, a very good slider.
Yeah, well, he's throwing with a little confidence right now. He's got it and he's ready to go. 1-2 pitch over toward the hole. Big hop for Simmons. Quick release. Side is retired. So it turns out to be a 10-pitch inning for Julio Tehran. Phillies go down in order, and we will go to the seconds. The Binghamton Mets in the AA Eastern League playoffs. Now at home, they'll be playing on Friday the 11th, Saturday the 12th if necessary, and Sunday the 13th if necessary. You can get tickets by going to Fightins.com and use the code Phillies to receive $3 off any ticket. In fact, the Reading Fightins playing Binghamton tonight in the first round of the postseason. Williamsport's already been rained out. Some storms going through PA. Out toward shallow right center field. Odubel hesitated for a moment but exploded toward the ball. One away. David taking a glance up at the big video board to check out where that pitch was, if it was where he thought. Here's Christian Bethancourt. I don't know if you can term this a lost season for Bethancourt, but when the year began, they felt like he was going to be the everyday catcher. Fortunately, and they did luck out a little bit on this, as that ball is grounded through the hole on the left side, swinging at the first pitch. Fortunately, and they did luck out, A.J. Pierzynski, the veteran, was brought in to be the backup, but he basically assumed the everyday job and has done fine. While Bethancourt has been in the minor leagues for a good portion of this year.
It's amazing how they have to fall back on a veteran again to help out.
Yeah.
You see that almost every year.
Well, and I think it's always a good thing to have with a young catcher, that established veteran who, I mean, for lack of a better analogy, is toward the end of his career, as Michael Bourne swings at the first pitch and breaks his bat. 2 outs. Today's game is also available in Spanish. Just use the SAP button on your television or change the language through the menu on your cable box. By the way,
3 pitches.
3 pitches and 3 batters. By the way, I have given Bill Kulick the emails every day since Boston, just so you know. I'd like to have a different sign put up. Like Gracias or something.
Or bueno.
There's a strike. It's 0-1 to Tehran. Tehran 3 for 43 this year. He's no dummy. He's taking a pitch. He's thinking, I'm tired. I don't want to go out on the mound just yet. Or he's scared.
Or he was told he had to take a pitch.
Could be that.
Bo Porter gave him the take sign.
Up the third base line. That's going to be a fair ball. And Cody Ashley won't throw him out. Well, that was a tough play because it wasn't hit all that hard. I thought Cody might let it try to roll foul. I don't know if it would have gone foul or not.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. I think he made the right move of playing the ball. I think it would have been very close. I'll tell you what, it might have shot foul.
That's a split-second decision. We all make them during the course of our day. That'll bring Markakis to the plate. He doubled and scored his first time up. Outside with a changeup, 1-0.
That's what we talk about nibbling. Trying to be so fine at hitting that outside corner. Now the hitter's back into a 2-0 count. A good hitter's count. If you have the confidence of throwing a curveball or an off-speed pitch here.
Well, he does throw the changeup. He fouls it off. Boy, a lot of changeups tonight.
Well, coming into today's game, changeup usage was 20.8% of the time.
Right.
I was shocked when I saw his fastball at 41%.
Yeah, in his last outing against Arizona, I guess this isn't a surprise because he's behind so many guys. It was 44%. Well, he's got it back even. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Markakis. He's hitting .317 over his last 45 games. His average just a hair under 300 for the year. Curveball hit out towards second base. Spinning out toward Hernandez. Side is retired. So he works out of a jam. Here in the second, no runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. playing some great baseball. Tomorrow, first game is at 7:05. Friday is Cabrini College Knit Hat Night. Fans 15 and over will receive that great hat right there. Tickets can be purchased for all 4 games by going to Phillies.com. Series will wrap up on Sunday at 1:35. 1-0 Braves. We'll go to the bottom of the second. It'll be Ryan Howard, Darnell Sweeney, and Cody Ashe against Julio Teheran, who's just finishing up his warm-up tosses. So Dave Brundage is back with the ball club, the manager of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. He's had a chance to watch David Buchanan from time to time this year. So there must be something that he could help with or see. Since we last saw David, he's changed his windup a little bit, which we'll get into when he's back out on the hill. It's always good to have another set of eyes, particularly somebody who's watched you along with, let's say, Bob McClure or Pete McCannon. So here's Howard, 0 for his last 25. His average at .230, 21 home runs, 72 runs batted in. Outside and high, 1 ball, no strikes. That one's hit sharply, but right at Jace Peterson, who's playing toward the second base bag. 4-3 on the putout, 1 away. Tonight's Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Michelle Rasavage of Philadelphia. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Michelle will win $100. Darnell Sweeney getting the nod again in left field tonight. Did not play last night. He was a pinch hitter in last night's game and lined out to third. Hitless in his last 8 at bats. Tapper foul. It's 0-1.
Well, one thing we've seen with Darnell Sweeney is he's a very aggressive hitter. He attacks that baseball. See it and hit it is his thought process.
In the air to right field. Markakis over toward the track to the wall, and it's off the wall. And Sweeney's on his way to second. Now he's thinking 3. He's going to go to third. Markakis' throw not in time. First big league triple for Darnell Sweeney. I think the Phillies got a break there because Markakis probably could have caught that ball. But I think he was a little sheepish going back toward the wall, a little unfamiliar territory for him.
Yeah, and I think he actually overran it a little bit. Now to change up, he's out in front of it. Nice swing, just flips it at the very end. But right here, he overran it.
Yeah.
You can see right here behind him. He misjudged it, not knowing where that wall was. The ball, it was behind him.
Well, now the infield will play in for the Braves with Cody Ashe at the plate. The Phils have a chance to get a run here. Back toward the box, knocked down by Teheran. Here comes Sweeney. He'll score, and the throw is in time. Great play by Freeman to grab it and stay on the bag. It's a 1-1 ball game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't think he stayed on the bag.
Think he tagged him though before his foot hit the bag?
I don't know. I thought his left foot came. It looked like he jumped.
Pete Buchanan's asking them to hold up action while they take a look at it. You're right, Matt.
See, right, this will give you the perfect angle right here.
It's a heck of a play by Freeman.
He's on the bag.
Oh, he is still on the bag.
Even though he did tag him, he was on the bag. That's a very nice play. Good read by Darnell Sweeney, though, coming on contact.
All right, so 1-1 game, giving RBI to Cody Ashe. 1-3 on the putout. Cameron Rupp has hit a little bit of a slump at this juncture of the year. 1 for his last 16, 0 for his last 10. His average at 239. One ball, one strike. One and two. That'll be a fly ball to shallow center field. Michael Bourne will put it away. Phillies have tied it up after the triple by Sweeney, a ground out by Ashe. We're even at 1 as we go to the 3rd. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, now do you want to ask me this question? I have not seen the answer. What team drafted Nick Markakis twice before he was picked by the Orioles in 2003? I have not seen the answer.
All right, I'll ask you this question.
All right, well, here you go. You can look at the answer.
I know the answer.
You do?
Yeah, I know what it was.
Okay. Well, we'll reveal the answer later on. Hector Olivera will lead it off. Hits it back toward the middle. First pitch swinging, a base hit. So he's 2 for 2. Yeah, that'll bring Freddie Freeman to the plate. Well, that's a beautiful dog. And Jay Wright, the head coach of Villanova, and his family have brought the dog, their dog, to the yard tonight. They're buying into the Paws Bark in the Park. We appreciate that. You know what we'll do, Matt, in honor of that this year? We'll bring a dog to the Villanova basketball game. If Jay does it here, we'll do it there. Okay. Beautiful dog. Look at the size of the paws. Line drive, base hit it to left field. Olivera will stop at second base. And that'll put runners on first and second with nobody out. And Nick Swisher's coming up. Swisher hit it to a double play his last time up. David would surely take a double play here.
Yeah. Or a weak fly ball, or maybe a pitch down in the zone.
Starts him off with a breaking ball. Got its 0-1. Two. That curveball had a little more depth than the first one. Tapper back to the mound. Buchanan's got it. Hesitates, waiting for the umpire to get out of the way, but he's still able to turn the double play. 1-6-3 DP. Second time that Swisher's bounced into a double play. Over to third goes Oliveira. Now time for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag PhillyPhotoDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself at an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Peterson is 0 for 1. He grounded out his first time up. Outside.
When David is throwing changeups, which he's thrown a lot tonight, you'll see the average that goes up on the corner of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll want it, anything over 80 is too hard for his changeup. So like the one previous pitch was 83, he's just overthrown his changeup. And we talked about trying to have that 10 miles an hour difference. 80-81 is a perfect changeup for him.
All right, so if he does throw it 83, 84, I mean, that also means he's probably not locating it properly.
Right, it's just coming in too hard, and the location's good. Well, the location could be okay, but it's just coming in hard, so it's easier to determine if it's going to be a changeup or not.
Well, there's ball 4, so he walks Peterson. A lot of base runners so far in these first 3 innings for David. All right, so the averages, just what you talked about, Matt. Fastball has basically been around 91, 92, but this changeup is 81 to 84, mostly 84.
Yeah, 84 is too hard.
Yeah.
Way too hard. You're averaging, he's topped out at 92, but you have to have that difference between the fastball and as a hitter, you sit up and say, okay, well, he's throwing 90 miles an hour. I'm expecting his changeup to be 77, 78.
Topper over to second base. Cesar Hernandez up with it. Well, he's been able to get the ground ball when he needs to. He's had a lot of base runners here tonight. No runs, 2 hits, 2 men left for the Braves. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Small or large, it doesn't matter. It's Bark in the Park. Bring them all. Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Buy W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And buy Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. Along with Matt Stairs and Greg Murphy, I'm Tom McCarthy. We are in the bottom of the third inning. It's a 1-1 game. Aaron Nola sitting down next to Carlos Ruiz. A lot of Ruiz fans. As always, as you would imagine. Carlos had a group out here today that is part of that group. Came out to see him. Story in the Daily News about Carlos talking about, really it was a history lesson on what the last several years have been like and what it's like without all of the guys that were such a big part of the 08 World Championship that basically grew up in this organization with him. Galvis tops one back toward the middle, a base hit to lead off the third. Well, that'll give Buchanan a chance to move him up with a bunt.
Well, and I also like the fact that Freddie got on top of the ball and hit the ball on the ground. He's been getting in that elevation mode a little bit too much and hitting some weak fly balls to left. So hands above the ball, down through it, hard ground ball up the middle.
David bunts it foul. 0-1. John Mizrak throwing down the signs. Bunted up the third base line, and it goes foul again. Oh, 2.
Good technique. Just the bat angle. Just a little too much towards third base. That's what causes the bunt. The first one to almost hit him in the foot. The second one to go foul.
And he bunts it, deadens it in front of the plate. Bethencourt's throw to second is in time. They don't turn it a double play. Fortunately, Buchanan does run fairly well. That's a good play by Bethencourt. He got out quickly and realized that with his arm he had a chance to get the lead runner. So fielder's choice. Let's go to Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, that'll bring up Cesar Hernandez, and he is the subject of our Lowe's Never Stop Improving player profile. It looks like he has kind of worked his way out of the slump that he was in the month of August. 26 games, batted just .245. His on-base percentage just .303. But here in the month of September, through 7 games, .345, 2 RBIs. His on-base percentage up to .381. Pete Mackanin, you guys remember, talked about wanting to let him battle his way out of the slump, hit his way out of the slump, and it appears to have worked. He's on a 9-game hitting streak right now, and that is a good sign for Cesar Hernandez. And he loves to hit against these Braves. Coming into tonight's game, 20 for 50 career against the Braves. That's good for a .400 batting average. So all good signs pointing as he finishes up what has been a good season for Cesar as he works his way out of that slump.
Outside 2-0. Yeah, we've always thrown around the idea he's got 1 home run. Will there be more in his future?
Maybe 5.
You think that's where the ceiling will be? But more extra base hits overall.
Oh, absolutely. He's got 19 doubles this year. You know, with his speed and his swing, you know, I think he's capable of hitting 35 to 40 doubles.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't want home runs out of Mr. Hernandez. We want the line drive gap to gap and let him run and let him use his wheels.
Curveball outside. 3 balls and 1 strike.
I would send Buchanan right here. 3 balls, 1 strike. Fastball coming. You looked at me like I was crazy, Tom.
Oh, I think it's cool. I always think it's cool when you put guys in motion. I do. I mean, you're thinking outside the box.
Now it's a different story. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Anything can come in for a pitch.
Fouled away, and it remains 3-2.
I'd even send the Fanatic 3 balls, 1 strike. I'd let him steal.
He would need a head start.
Well, it's not about the jump. It's about the hitter
Yeah.
making contact.
Out towards center field. Bourne puts it away for the 2nd out. Washington Nationals will be here to wrap up this homestand next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. All 3 games at 7:05. Tickets can be purchased right now by going to Phillies.com. An update from down in D.C. Bryce Harper's at his 35th home run off of Jason DeGrom. Steven Strasburg's pitching for the Nats. It's a 1-1 game, bottom of the 3rd. But don't worry, I mean, you just have to tune in from the 7th inning on. At least that's what the first 2 games of that series have been like.
That was unbelievable yesterday. That comeback from, what, 7-1 deficit?
7-1. All the balls thrown by Rivero. I guess Trinan was in there. Storin. The home run that Papelbon allowed. To a guy that has 4 home runs now, 3 in 1 game, and then the one yesterday. Kirk Neuenhuis. Many folks today down in the D.C. area, at least from a couple of the articles that were written, have written the Nationals off. That last night's game was it. That they were finito. Maybe. Swing and a miss, 1-2. But we have seen teams come from behind from a deficit like that. So it's Jacob DeGrom against Steven Strasburg tonight. Foul ball.
Herrera's seen a few more fastballs inside tonight. After last night found all those pitches off and then finally hitting a home run with the slider.
He goes after a high fastball and he strikes out. So the Phillies get a leadoff base runner, but do not score. We played 3. Yeah, it's a pug life. There's some good signs.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rocky fans sitting
Park here tonight at Citizens Bank Park. They're all sitting in the bleacher seats on the Budweiser rooftop. Well, David Buchanan has made some adjustments to his motion. Matt, why don't you walk us through this here?
Well, he has. On the left-hand side, August 6th against the Dodgers, it's a delivery where he's just going back and he has a twist. But what I noticed tonight is that he wants to get over his head. Now, you see where the hands are right in here. His hands are going above the head. Now, it's a huge change for him, but what it does is it helps tempo and timing. You notice the leg kick's the exact same. A lot of people say the higher you go up with your hands, the more momentum you have going, and the harder you throw. So I think for him, he's just trying to get to that point where it's easiest timing and tempo to get that leg there and release.
Out to right field. That's well hit, and it is gone. Christian Bethancourt with his second home run of the season. And it's his second hit of the night. It's 2-1 in favor of the Braves. Well, we mentioned that he snapped an 0 for 14 slump his first time up. So now he's 2 for 2.
Well, that wasn't very good timing of explaining it. Wind up?
No. Well, I thought you explained it well.
Thank you. That ball's hit pretty well. That's just hit very well. It's like a little cutter.
For the Braves, it's just their 29th home run since the All-Star break as Bourne bunts foul. Braves, since the All-Star break, are hitting .238 with those 9 home runs. Bourne taps it foul, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Outside, 2-2.
Michael Bourne is getting frustrated. He's getting pitches to hit, and this at bat, he's had 2 pitches to hit, and he's hit him backwards.
I think it's just been that kind of year for him. That one he got a piece of and pulled it foul.
Well, I tell you, and for me, I mean, I watch all the hitters and try to examine all the hitters, their techniques. You know, there's one area, if you look at the shoulder area, he is tight. I mean, he's flexing his forearms. His upper body is so tight. You know, and you get that hand. So if a hitter, if I'm hitting here, now watch my shoulders drop, my hands don't drop, everything relaxes. But when you hit this way,
yeah, you're scrunched up.
You're tightening everything up.
Change up outside, 3-2.
Your hands will not move. It's just a matter of relaxing your upper body, which relaxes your forearms, which relaxes your hands, and your bat speed picks up.
He's got to feel it, though. You know, he's got to feel that sort of tension when he's.
Well, you'd have to. I mean, it's. You know, you can just tell how tight his forearms are. You know, the muscles in his forearms are, are showing.
Well, he serves that one in the left field, so he's aboard with a single here in the 4th inning.
No, I'm not saying you can't hit that way, but what I'm saying is that you get a lot of pitches to hit and you're fouling them off, especially fastballs inside, because you're tied up trying to get to the ball.
And if you do hit it, it's probably going to be something like that. I mean, it's a base hit, but it's soft out to left field. Well, that's already 8 hits given up by David Buchanan. He's only allowed the 2 runs, though. Tehran bunts it. As she says he has it. Somebody's got to cover third. Galvis will get there. Sacrifice is successful. 5-4 on the put out. Headed into extra innings and need a boost? Call WB Mason and order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices, delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Well, here is Markakis, who is 1 for 2. Change up low, and it's 1 ball and no strikes.
And I must say, when we were talking about the windup and the difference with the hands over the head, I had to text Jamie, or you text Jamie Moyer for us to find out the reasoning why. I asked Larry Anderson, the exact same tempo and timing. That's all they said, both.
Yeah, I always wondered if it was, I mean, for David, if it was sort of that falling back and then coming forward is to limit that. But he still has that sort of tendency.
Yeah, he still throws. It seems like he's throwing uphill a little bit.
Yeah, because I know early on when he was 0-5 in the first month of the season, they were trying to rectify that. 3 balls and no strikes. Ball 4. Well, the Reading Fightins are off to a heck of a start. Their offense came out swinging. Dylan Cousins, a 2-run double. Reading leads Binghamton 4-1. That game's in the 3rd. Zach Eflin making the start. Eflin making his 24th start of the year. He's 8-6 during the regular season with an ERA of 3.69.
Which is a good ERA in the Eastern League. That's well known as a good hitting league.
Swing and a miss by Oliveira. I think he got a piece of Cameron Rupp on that backswing. Oliveira's turned his batting average around. I mean, he has limited at bats, but with this series, 5 of his 7 hits this year have come in the series. And he bloops that one out toward right center field. It's going to drop in front of Altair. He takes it on the hop. Bourne is being held. On 1 hop comes the throw, and the bases are now loaded with 1 man down. Oliveira is now 3 for 3.
Oliveira got his average up to 303.
Yeah.
Now, taking, like you said, there's not very many at bats, but.
Well, he came in hitting 133. 170 points. Freddie Freeman takes inside a curveball. He was hit by a pitch his first time up, singled his last time. Spring training, Buchanan was 3-0 with an ERA of 1.29. A lot of people were optimistic that he was taking the next step after his season last year. There's a line drive down the right field line. It bloops in. 1 run is in. Here comes Markakis. He'll score. And it's now 4-1 Atlanta. Second hit for Freddie Freeman. That's 10 hits now for the Braves.
Fastball inside. Wasn't too bad. It was up a little bit. But he back-to-back pitches. You know, when you're throwing 90, 91, 89, you need to get it in there a little farther.
Yeah.
You want him to expand the strike zone and try to jam himself. But still, the fastball that he's been using tonight, the only pitch that he's been getting down in the zone has been his changeup. He's throwing some nice curveballs tonight.
Well, he has 3 more starts if they go with the same pattern until the end of the year. 3 more starts. And a lot of his starts up here in the big leagues have gone just like this. It's a shame because, as we mentioned, there was a lot of optimism coming out of spring training for what he accomplished. And based on last year, you figured he would take the next step. But whether it's confidence, whether it's mechanical, he's just been off kilter this year.
Plus, I think a lot has to do with, you know, he went into spring training fighting for the number 5 job. He walked out being the number 3 guy.
Yeah.
And I think that he maybe put so much pressure on himself. And now that he's been struggling, he's trying extra hard and thinking to himself, I cannot make a mistake right here. Hitters go through it all the time. You know, I got to get this run in from third base. And what do? Swing and miss or hit a home run up an elevator shaft. Straight up.
Well, he's gotten Swisher to ground into 2 double plays. Why not a third? In the dirt, 3-1. Jerome Williams pitched this past weekend against the Red Sox. He wound up going 3+ in that outing, so he's ready to go today if they need to, and they're going to need him at this point. He's going to commit at some point, whether it's this inning or the next. And ball 4. That'll load him up, and that may be it for David Buchanan. We'll see what Pete Buchanan decides. And here he comes. So that'll be it for David Buchanan. His night is done, but he is responsible for the 3 base runners that are on right now. So it's 4-1 Braves on top here in the top of the 4th inning. Jerome Williams will be coming on. It might be time to take a nap for a lot of folks. That guy looks like he's ready to go, though. first of 3 college nights here at Citizens Bank Park. Tomorrow it's finance and accounting majors. On the 14th against the Nationals and sports management majors. On the 15th, it's journalism, PR, and communications majors. Each event includes panel discussions with Phil's professionals, a special welcome for Pat Gillick and Ruben Amaro, plus more, including special power tickets with additional concession value. For more information or to register, go to Phillies.com/college nights. Well, we got a little predicament here for Jerome Williams. Bases loaded, 1 out. Top of the 4th inning, 4-1 Braves. David Buchanan is done after 3 and a 3rd innings of work. Jerome's numbers 4 and 10, a 5.99 ERA. He's been better out of the bullpen as the long man. And it's 1 ball and no strikes to Jace Peterson. Ground ball to second. That should be 2. So the 3rd double play of the night helps Jerome Williams get out of this 4th inning. 3 runs score. All 3 charged to the line of David Buchanan. Middle of the 4th inning. The Phils have to work from behind. They're down by 3 to Atlanta. At jefferson.edu. Buy your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Del Val Honda dealer. Visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And buy Budweiser. Still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Bottom of the 4th inning. The Braves 4, the Phillies 1. And Aaron Altair will lead things off. It'll be Altair, Ryan Howard, and Darnell Sweeney against Julio Teheran. So Altair grounded out to shortstop his first time up. The ball sharply toward the hole, backhanded by Simmons. The pitch is in there, 0-1. One ball, 1 strike. Teheran in his last outing went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits and 1 earned run, but he received a no decision. His team wound up losing that game 5-2. Tonight he's getting some runs. Inside.
Well, he's getting some runs tonight, but he doesn't look as sharp as we've seen in the past.
I would agree. I thought in spring training his fastball looked a little lighter than what we would normally used to, but he's got enough on it now. It was 94, 95 in past years. Probably what you just saw there, 92. It's probably in that neighborhood now.
He spotted one earlier at 94, but he is living right around 91, 92.
Off the hands, right off the knuckles. Peterson to his left. That's a good pitch. One out. Ryan Howard's coming up. Tomorrow morning, start your day with early bird Eagles coverage. Jeff McLean from the Inquirer, Jeff McIntyre from thebigleague.com. Join the crew live. Breakfast on Broad tomorrow morning from 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. Ryan Howard is 0 for his last 26 inside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Ryan's changed his approach with his foot now. He usually gets down real early. That time he went with a little leg kick.
Bit outside. Where is he at his best, do you think? I guess it varies.
I like where he is right now with the foot coming up a little bit.
Ball's hit sharply. He's hit 2 balls sharply, but right at infielders. And there are 2 outs.
And I'll tell you the reason why I like it is because he gets momentum going back. He has a good weight shift. When he was getting his foot back down early, then he had to start it back up again. Now it's a more of a easy power position back, and all your momentum's going back and then forward instead of forward, stop, back, and then going forward again.
You should write a book. Darnell Sweeney fouls it off. And it's 0-1. Sweeney tripled and scored the only run for the Phils. One ball and 1 strike. Boy, that breaking ball had some bite late to come over the outside part of the plate.
That's a slow curveball, 70.
Yeah.
Tehran got the sign, and he told Betancourt where he wanted to throw it with the head nod. Told him outside.
Got him with a high fastball. Well, he is front running right now. Picked up a strikeout to end the 3rd. He picks up a strikeout to end the 4th. Nothing across the Phils. It's a 1-2-3. Bottom half of the 4th inning. Braves on top 4-1 as we go to the 5th.
the fans' trivia question answer. Here's the question. I know you know it. What team drafted Nick Markakis twice before he was picked by the Orioles in 2003?
Simmons bunts the first pitch, and it's going to just die in the grass, and he'll be aboard with an infield single. So he is 1 for 3 as we begin the top of the 5th. I want to say Dodgers. I don't think that's right, though. He's from the East Coast. He's from New York.
You want me to give you a hint?
Yes, give me a hint. It's not the Dodgers, obviously.
Where do we open up next year?
Cincinnati Reds. I did not think the Reds. I thought it was the Dodgers, or I thought it was the Red Sox.
Yeah, 2001 and 2002.
All right.
Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of the Phillies prize pack.
I knew that he went to a small college, very small college. So that's why I thought it was, if it wasn't the Dodgers, it was a local team that was there a lot. As Bethancourt takes a strike, it's 0-1. Bethancourt homered his last time up. All right, see, that was easy, wasn't it? Like the whole process of doing it?
Oh, yeah. It's easier answering it, though.
Is it really?
Sometimes.
Ground ball foul.
I didn't hear you get the buzzard, though.
The buzzard?
The buzzard. Billy Saunders.
Oh. I will tell you what's hard is not looking, as that one is lined softly to right. Altair makes the catch. Is not looking on the computer, not looking on my email, Twitter.
Twitter was the place where we get a lot of answers, or you do get a lot of answers.
Phillies hosting Paws Bark in the Park here tonight. A lot of dogs have made their way out to the Budweiser rooftop. There's Ken Giles' dog, Maxwell. He was roaming around the clubhouse today. He got a lot of energy, that dog. It looks like he's winding down a little bit. You wonder where this promotion first came. It was actually the first time back in 1996. The Chicago White Sox were, I guess, technically the first team that did a Bark in the Park in the major leagues. I think teams did it in the minor leagues. As Michael Bourne takes a strike, it's 0-1. It was sort of derived from Bill Veck's mind. You know, Bill used to have all these different events happening. Turn back the clock night, these sleepover nights, disco night, Elvis night. And I guess one of the kids who worked for him was all grown up, a guy by the name of Rob Gallus. And he came up with this idea for the White Sox to do a dog day in Chicago. And that's where Bark in the Park began. Last time I looked, there were 22 teams in the major leagues that were hosting Bark in the Park or some semblance of it. The dog days at the park, something like that. 22. Outside, 2-1.
I think it'd be a lot easier in April on the dogs.
Through the hole on the right side, Bourne picks up his second hit, and Simmons goes to second base. A little cool route.
Yes.
I would agree with you on that. Here's Julio Teheran, who sacrificed his last time up. For many years, those kind of promotions, they really didn't creep into the major league ballparks. They were always in the minor league parks. I mean, you probably remember a ton of goofy things that took place in minor league games.
A few.
Teheran squares. He had a successful sacrifice his last time up, and he's going to get another one here. And that'll put runners on second and third. And I'll go 1-4.
Perfect technique of bunting. Using your legs, getting the barrel out in front of home plate, deading the ball with the barrel. pitching well tonight, but 2 sacrifice bunts and a single.
How about they're going to walk Markakis for the 3rd time intentionally in this series? 2nd time he's walked tonight. And that loads up the bases. So that means that Oliveira will be the hitter now. He's got a 3-hit night. Oliveira does. They must feel like they can still pitch to him. Out towards center field, not deep, playable for Hernandez or Herrera, and Herrera comes sprinting in to make the catch. Side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 3 men left. The Braves, they've left 10 through their first 5. Miami Marlins, it's Fan Appreciation Day. 2016 Phillies schedule magnet will be given out to all fans. A traditional celebration like none other, with prizes and surprises. Order your tickets now for the final home game of the 2015 regular season by going to Phillies.com. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. There's the statue of the great Richie Ashburn. It's remarkable to think that back on this date in 1997 we lost Whitey. I was working in the minor leagues at the time, and I remember, with so many people in the Trenton area who were Philly fans. I mean, they were just so taken aback, as everybody was, that Whitey had passed away of a heart attack as the Phillies were preparing to take on the Mets at Shea Stadium. Just such a tough time. And then some years later we lost Harry in a lot of the same ways. But Whitey's memory will always be lasting, and of course here at the ballpark with the statue and Ashburn Alley, we'll always remember him and the stories. I mean, he was twofold. He was a great player and he was a great broadcaster too. So that was on the front page of the notes today, and you sit there and you shake your head and think, wow, 1997. As Cody Ashe pops it up to the third base side. Oliveira pounds the glove a couple times, makes the catch. And that is now 6 in a row. Retired by Julio Teheran. Camera reps coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, T-Mac, thank you. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game, and today's photo comes from Ariel Hart's You.
Hey.
Yeah, that's nice. And she got to hang out with Matt Stairs at the Phillies Festival. Nice picture. Matt, you look great there. Way to go. Tweet
Nice.
your strongest fan photo. The hashtag Philly Photo Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by T-Mobile. And you know what? I think maybe Matt sent that in.
I was thinking.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe Matt is in charge of which photo.
I picked that one today. It's all about me today, Murph.
That's exactly right.
We do call you Ariel from time to time.
Oh, we probably have to do that more, I think.
Yeah, I think maybe we should.
2 balls and no strikes to Cameron Rupp. And Cameron hits it out toward right center field. Bourne on the run toward the track. Gets there. Very casual play by Michael Bourne. For the second out, Freddie Galvis is due up. Cam is 0 for his last 12. Some of these numbers, I mean, as good as the Phillies were, Howard's 0 for his last 27. Cam's 0 for his last 12. Yikes.
Yep. Not a way you want to finish up in the month of September, going into the offseason.
Galvis singled his only time up. He takes low. One ball and 2 strikes. That's Ken Roberts warming up in the bullpen. Newest addition to the Phils, one of the new additions to the Phillies. There's a liner out to right center field for Galvis. That's his second hit. He's thinking 2 right out of the box, but he's going to stop because Bourne got to it quickly. So Freddie is 2 for 2 tonight, and that'll bring Brian Bogusevic to the plate. For more on Brian, he's a great story. Let's go to Greg Murphy again.
You know, Tom, he really is. We got a chance to know Brian a little bit in spring training. He had a terrific spring training this year, really opened up some eyes. A former #1 pick who spent parts of 4 seasons in the big league, so he knows his way around this league. 2 for 3 since being called up with the Phillies, including a pinch hit home run, his 4th of his career. And I asked him, I said, well, how do you approach a September call-up at this point in your career? A 31-year-old guy being called up in September after a terrific year. And he said, well, first and foremost, you enjoy it. You just enjoy it because this is what you're working for. This is what it's all about, trying to get back to the big leagues. He is back up here. And he said, second of all, you have to approach it knowing that, you're going to be asked to do some different things. Down at the Lehigh Valley, he was playing every day and, he's getting 4 at-bats a game. He knows his role will be different in September. He's going to be asked to pinch hit like he's doing right here. He'll get a few spot starts, but he'll be asked to play some late-inning defense as well, maybe get a bunt down, do some pinch running. And he said, you just go out, stay prepared, and do your job. Whatever they ask you to do, that's what you go out and do at that given moment. He's accepted his role. He says, look, they've got some young guys in the outfield here that they really want to see play, and I know they're going to get the bulk of the playing time in September. Well, but whenever they ask me to do something, I'm going to come up there and give it 100%. A really great story, as you mentioned, Tom, and coming off a terrific season down at AAA, deserving of being up here in September.
Yeah, he had a very good spring, hit over 300 in spring. He was hitting the ball particularly late in spring training, hard every time he was up. 1 ball, 1 strike, and he fouls it away. It's 1-2. It's a nice reward on so many different levels. He was a minor league free agent, so it entices other free agents to come to the organization. I mean, getting a job entices them, but entices other free agents to come to an organization if they know that they'll be given a chance.
Right. If you have a good year in the minor leagues, there is a good opportunity, especially with a young team. You might have a chance to go up for a September call-up or before. I like the fact that he said he accepted his role. That's the key. You can come up here and be angry or whatever it is that you're not playing every day and think you should be playing every day.
Yeah, Matt, I like the fact, I mean, I asked him, I said, you know, what is your approach? How do you come into September? He says, enjoy it. You've got to enjoy it because it doesn't happen all of the time. You get an opportunity like this. I thought that was a perfect answer for a guy like him.
2-2 is way upstairs, so Galvis will be off and running on this pitch. Bogusevic pinch hitting for Williams, so Roberts will come in. Phillies trying to cut into this. It's only a 4-1 deficit against a team that gives up on average, at least over the last 3 weeks, 8 runs per game. There goes Galvis, and the pitch is popped up. Foul territory. Oliveira and Simmons are over, and Oliveira makes the catch, and the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit for the Phils, 1 man left. On to the 6th inning. Braves lead it by 3. Each time Aaron takes the mound is a clear indication on why so many thought he was ready for the major leagues a year after being the 7th overall pick. Tuesday night he dazzled again, locating his fastball with precision and keeping the Braves hitters off balance all game long. 7 strikeouts, 7 shutout innings, and his 6th win of the season was just the latest NOLA performance. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, there is Aaron Nola, who had another nice night last night. 7 innings, as we just mentioned, 7 strikeouts. In fact, it's the first time in 23 years that the Phillies had a sub-23-year-old throw 7 shutout innings, while a second sub-23-year-old drive in 3 runs. How about that? Last time it happened, Ruben Amaro was the one who drove in the runs, and Big Ben Rivera was the pitcher. Well, Ken Roberts making his Phillies debut. Numbers in the minor leagues this year. He also pitched in the big leagues for the Rockies. He pitched in 9 games for the Rockies. Had an earned run average of 5.79. And he's on to face Freddie Freeman, Nick Swisher, Jace Peterson. Phillies picked him up off waivers from the Rockies. He's out of Middle Tennessee State, and he was a 25th round pick by Colorado. That one's low, 2-1. Freddie Freeman tonight has 2 hits and has been hit by a pitch. He has 2 RBIs. He had 2 hits in his last at bat. 3 balls, 1 strike. Down the left field line, out of play.
It'd be interesting to see in baseball how many hitters, especially power guys, choke up on their bat.
Barry Bonds used to choke up a little bit.
Yeah, he was supernatural.
So that's a different category.
Yeah.
No swings as Adrian Johnson. Looked like a pretty good pitch, maybe a little high. No, the Philly fanatic in between innings doing his Elvis Presley impersonation and dancing to Hound Dog. Not sure if the dogs really knew what was going on. What is that is a perfect question.
I thought it was, what does a fanatic say?
They don't know if it's time to play or attack. Randy Freeman draws a throw. Swisher, a switch hitter. I think it's the first time we've seen him bat right-handed in this series. I will say, and this isn't always the case for a switch hitter, his batting style is almost identical.
Yep, it is.
From one side of the plate to the other. I think that's hard to do sometimes. Does the same thing, tap on the plate, looks up to the sky. And he lines that one to left center field. Sweeney on the run. He won't get it. It's going to go to the wall. Freddie Freeman on his way to third, and he'll be held there. So Nick Swisher has his fourth double in a Braves uniform. Second and third now for Jace Peterson. Tapper left side. The runners will hold. Peterson's retired. One away. Well, Atlanta's now 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Coming into this inning, they had left 10 runners.
I like the location on that pitch. Fastball inside, ties him up. He can't get the barrel or get the head out to drive the ball to the outfield and ties him up. Two camera set up inside. Kind of force your swing right there. Jams him for an easy ground ball to short, excuse me.
Out towards center field. It'll be deep enough to score Freeman. Odubel makes the catch and fires over toward third. It'll be a sac fly for Simmons. And it's 5-1 Atlanta. So Freeman scores. 36th RBI for Simmons. And Christian Bethancourt, who homered earlier and also singled tonight, will be the batter. Back toward the box, flag down by Roberts. Side is retired. 1 run scores for the Braves. They get 1 base hit. They leave 1. They've left 11, but they have a 4-run lead as we move to the bottom of the 6th. Sports stores. Go further. Bottom of the 6th inning, 5-1. Braves on top. Ken Roberts just allowed a run on a sacrifice fly, but he was able to make a nice play to wrap up the 6th inning. Looks like he is going to get another inning, at least up to this point. We'll see if anybody else gets up. Tehran, well, he's kind of been on cruise control because his team has given him a lead. It's not an overwhelmingly large lead, but it's a lead nonetheless. So as we go to the 6th inning, Freddie Gonzalez will take a look at who the Phillies are sending up, and he'll let his right-hander with 68 pitches go to work against the top of the Phillies order. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, there was a point in the 2nd week of August where the Phillies had the best record in baseball since the All-Star break. And there was a lot of energy. And I know you hear that word a lot in baseball and any sport. There was a lot of offensive aggressiveness, solid offensive aggressiveness. But things have sort of tailspin back to the way they were before. And obviously losing does that. But there's a lot of this, ground balls to the right side. Matt, they need a boost. It's not going to get easier with the Cubs coming to town.
No, they do need a boost. And they need to realize that giving at bats away at the end, and trust me, September was my 2nd worst month of hitting.
And you looked it up.
And I looked it up. And for all the at bats you could take back and say, man, I wish I didn't give that at bat away. I wish I didn't swing at a 1-0 changeup. I wish I didn't swing at the first pitch changeup. A lot of what ifs. And everyone on this team is building for next year, right? I mean, you might think there's 1 or 2 spots that are, that are probably penciled in, but there's a lot of openings next year.
Yeah, I would think 1 or 2, and then nothing else beyond that.
This is the time that you need to go out and have that extra concentration and show that you can play in September and have your concentration through the whole year. And it's easier said than done, trust me. All Major League ball players have gone through it, and you want to take back the at-bats that you gave away. Think about, you give 5 at-bats away per month. That's a ton. And I've been in that situation where I sit on a pitch, sit fastball, get a changeup. What do? I hit a weak ground ball back to first baseman. I go, what am I doing?
And when you say give it bats away, that's just it.
That's what it is.
The first pitch in the strike zone, it may not be a good fastball, but the first pitch in the strike zone, bam, you're going after
right,
it.
And it's not keeping that concentration level of, the 162 games. Herrera has not given at bats away because he hasn't changed his style. He's still swinging the bat the way he did in spring training. And I understand, and trust me, I've struggled and I've gone through this. That's why it's easier for me to say it now, and hopefully that the young players hear it, is because it's an important time of the year. It's the most important time of the year.
Michael Bourne tracks that one down. 2 outs. And Aaron Altair is coming up. Michael Franco, who before he got hurt kind of swung the way and approached it the way Odubel approaches it. Well, time is winding down. After tonight, the Phillies will have 22 games left in the regular season. 22. Aaron Altair takes off the outside corner, 1-0. Even, close to even with the ground outs and the fly outs. Just 2 strikeouts to Tehran. I guess you can't term him a strikeout pitcher as much anymore, although he was close to 1 per inning.
Well, yeah, but when you got 80 pitches through about 5 2/3, a lot of early swinging,
giving away at bats to a certain extent.
Yeah, to a certain. I mean, if you have a game plan, and Ryan Howard's hit 2 very hard ground balls tonight. Look, I don't mind sitting on a changeup and getting a changeup. It's the fact that if someone throws a two-seam fastball low and away and you hit a weak fly ball to left field as a hitter, is that the pitch that you were looking for to do damage with? I don't think so.
Well, there's the third strikeout of the night for Tehran. He retires the Phils in order for the third time this evening. We've played 6. We'll go to the 7th inning. The Braves up 5-1. Time now for your Delaware Valley Honda Dealers game summary. 5-1. Braves on top, 3 in the 4th. That was the big inning. Julio Tehran, though, has allowed just 3 hits and 1 earned run through 6. David Buchanan lasted just 3 1/3 for the Phils. Michael Bourne facing Ken Roberts tries to bunt his way on as we start the 7th inning and bunts it foul. It's 0-1. Bourne tonight is 2 for 3. Takes outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Back toward the middle and flagged down by Hernandez. I don't think he would have had a chance to get him anyway. So that's a 3-hit night for Michael Bourne. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Here's Tehran, who has successfully sacrificed twice. Another throw. Michael Bourne has a pretty short lead over at first. And Tehran takes high. 1 ball, no strikes. Dalier Hinojosa warming in the bullpen. Phillies have gotten a long look at him. Another good bunt by Tehran, and Ashe again will flip to first. Sacrifice 5-4. That's 3 sacrifices tonight. Heading into extra innings and need a boost, call WB Mason to order Green Mountain Coffee K-Cup pods. Great tasting coffee at amazingly low prices. Delivered free the very same day when you order by 11:30 a.m. WB Mason knocks it out of the park. Who but WB Mason? Markakis tonight has scored 2 runs. He's walked twice, has a double. Takes inside 1-0. Hey, by the way, the Red Sox are being annoying again to the Blue Jays. Up 6-1 in the 4th inning at Fenway. David Ortiz just homered. That was his 498th of his career. But the Red Sox on the board. Yankees are tied with the Orioles. Blue Jays lead the division by a game and a half.
Yankees were up 3-1.
The other division that is suddenly up for grabs, and it started to get this way, I guess about 10 days ago, is the American League West. Houston is in Oakland tonight. Texas is in Seattle. The Rangers are just a game out. Now, there's still the wild card, obviously, but they're just a game out. Angels, meanwhile, dropped to 5.5 games back. Update in the Eastern League. Brock Stassi, a 3-run home run, has made it 7-1.
Great baseball name.
It is a great baseball name. He's had a really good year. I'd be interested to see how many of those guys, do develop into major league players that can contribute. Like Stassi, he's a good player, but he's having a breakout season. It's kind of like, remember Mark Grudzielanek? Remember when Grudzielanek with Harrisburg was the MVP? That one's into right field, a base hit, rounding third, heading for home is Bourne. Here's the throw to the plate by Altair. It is not in time. Bourne sneaks in standing. RBI for Markakis. 6-1. Braves on top. And here comes Pete Mackanin.
It's a curveball. He's out in front. Hits that hole. Just not hit hard enough for Altair to come up and get Michael Bourne at home plate. Good throw, just not on time.
So Roberts' night is done. Dalier Hinojosa is going to come in to face Hector Olivares. So the 2 Cuban defectors will face off. We have a pitching change. We'll be back right after this. Chicago Cubs, all fans 14 and under will receive the Fanatics one-man band DVD. Compliments of the New Jersey Education Association. Tickets can be purchased for all 4 games against the Cubs by going to Phillies.com. 6-1 Braves. Runner at first base, 1 man down. We're in the top of the 7th inning. And Dalier Hinojosa. 5 games now for the Phils, 7 strikeouts in 9 innings. Will face Hector Oliveira. There had to be some point, even though they were on separate teams, where these 2 guys were teammates in international play, but also faced each other when both were in Cuba. I mean, you had one of the better pitchers and one of the better hitters. Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Three-hit night for Oliveira. His average is up to 296.
Watch him dig in, Oliveira. He just wails. Right there, he loads with that leg, turns in. And he's just looking to just let it go. That's why a good off-speed pitch low and away, he'll swing and miss. Oof.
Lucky there.
Don't want to be up there.
Oh. Got him. Foul tip. Rupp hangs on. 2 outs. And here's Freddie Freeman.
That's the first strikeout tonight of a Braves hitter.
Boy, that's a good point. You're right. Buchanan didn't strike anybody out. Williams did not either. And a lot of pitches, a lot of base runners. The Phillies are fortunate that it's only a 5-run deficit at this point. The Braves have left 12 so far in this game. That one's pulled through the shift. Oh, diving stop by Ashe. What a play. That one was behind him, and he was able to make the play. So 5-3 on the putout. A run does score. 2 hits in the inning for the Braves. They leave 1. And a fantastic play by Cody Ashe. This saves the inning. This would have been first and third with 2 men down. I mean, that ball was by him when he was able to grab it and then fire to first. today when the Eagles open up against the Atlanta Falcons. Phillies trail at 6-1. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. Ryan Howard leads it off against Julio Teheran. Howard takes outside. No, 1 ball and no strikes. 0 for his last 27. Trying to break that. Boy, he is long overdue. And that one's lined out to right field, and a diving play by Markakis. He's hit 3 balls hard tonight. And Markakis retires him for out number 1 here in the 7th. Only 1 hit in the last 3 1/3 for the Phils.
Not much you can do there. Just keep on having good at bats, hit the ball hard. Eventually it will fall, but Markakis, very nice read coming in, makes a nice play on Ryan Howard.
Darnell Sweeney watches that one go outside. Darnell has 9 hits, and of those 9, 6 have been extra base hits, including tonight's triple.
He swings hard.
Way outside. Ball 4, so Sweetie draws a walk. Cody Ashley's coming up, and he is the subject of our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Well, we just saw the big league shift. Cody Ashley moves over from third to second base. He now hosts with a 2-seamer to Freddie Freeman, and Cody Ashley showing some very good range, makes a very nice play, catching that ball behind him, and getting up and throwing Freddie Freeman out at first base. That is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
That was a very good play. I mean, all the way around. Also, his actions were good, popping up as fast as he did. No balls and 1 strike to Ashe. To Major League Scoreboard, Kelly Johnson has tied the game up down in D.C. with a pinch hit home run. That is one beleaguered manager down there, isn't it, Matt Williams?
I watched his post game last night.
You know, I did after you told me about it, but go ahead.
And he couldn't even look up at the camera. He was in shock.
How could you? You have everything sort of
in place.
Strasburg has 13 strikeouts tonight. He and DeGrom are both still in the game. As she pops it foul out toward the home Hall of Fame club. A high fly ball, shallow right center field. Michael Bourne. And there are 2 outs. Tomorrow night, Derek Gunn and Reuben Frank are joined by special guest Brian Baldinger for a look ahead at the Eagles season opener against the Falcons. Plus, here from DeMarco Maria making his Eagles debut. Quick Slants presented by Nissan tomorrow night at 6. Only on Comcast Sportsnet. Tomorrow is the opener of the NFL season. Patriots and the Steelers. We'll start things off. Cameron Rupp off the end of the bat. That'll find its way into right field. Sweeney's on his way to third. First and third with 2 men down. So Cameron ends an 0 for 12 stretch. Atta baby.
Ryan's thinking, I've hit 3 balls on the nose. That's what I need.
Yeah, he needs somebody to corkscrew one. Roger McDowell heads out to the mound. They have 2 pitchers warming up out in the pen. The veteran Peter Moylan, who is back in the big leagues after his 8th Tommy John surgery. He's the right-hander. He just seems like he's had a ton of Tommy John surgeries. Great story, though. I mean, he missed a year, fought back. There were a couple years where he was a darn good right-handed pitcher.
Right, he was.
So here's Galvis. There's Genmar, Gomez, and Ogando is the other righty. Freddie takes low and in. 1 ball, no strikes. Hit outside, and it's 3-0 to Galvis. They've got Blanco on deck. Ball 4, and the bases are now loaded. So Andres Blanco will come up. See what Freddie Gonzalez does here. Roger McDowell goes over to the phone and see who's ready and who's not. Blanco is part of a pinch hitting crew this year that has 9 home runs, 9 pinch hit home runs.
Great time for number 10.
Mm-hmm. Phillies have been out hit 15-4 tonight. Wow. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Mets, thanks to Cespedes' 2-run home run, lead the Nationals 4-2. What a difference he has made with that ball club.
That's his 14th home run with the New York Mets.
That's incredible. Off the end of the bat foul, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. I know he can't win the MVP. He just hasn't been around long enough. But if there's been an MVP since the 1st of August, it's him. Off the end of the bat again, foul. One ball and 2 strikes to Blanco with the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 7th. Swing and a miss. He strikes him out. 95 on that fastball. That could be the first one he's thrown at 95 miles an hour tonight. Side is retired. 7 in the books. We'll go to the 8th. Phillies trail at 6-1. But at McDonald's with a double cheeseburger and small fry for just $2.50. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And buy the Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Braves are on top 6-1 as we go to the top half of the 8th inning. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Well, making his major league debut is right-hander Nefi Ogando. This year in the minor leagues, he had a 2.86 ERA with 9 saves. Saw Nefi a little bit in spring training. He is 25 years old. Actually, make it 26 years old. He's 25 at the start of the season from Santo Domingo, the Dominican Republic. Phillies acquired him from the Boston Red Sox in the John McDonald trade. That was back in 2013. Johnny Mac went back home to his native land. Nick Swisher swings at the first pitch. Freddie Galvis waits for it. And 1 out. Ogando spent last year with the Phillies. He was 5-1. He had a high ERA, though, all in relief. He's only been a starter for a handful of games during his minor league career back in 2010, 2011. That was with the Red Sox. He's got a good arm. Like a lot of pitchers who do not have a lot of experience, his biggest issue has been from time to time his command. One ball and no strikes to Peterson. 2-0. Pretty good fastball there, 97.
Very good fastball. You know, you can teach command. You can get guys to quiet their delivery down. You just can't teach though 96, 97. That's a gift.
Line drive, base hit it to center field. So a 1-out single. Time for the Major League Notebook. Murph.
Thank you, guys. Brought to you by St. Joseph's University. The Oakland A's are satisfied with the job that Bob Melvin is doing as their skipper, so they decided earlier today to extend his contract 2 more seasons. It locks him up through the 2018 season. Despite being in last place this year in the AL West, the A's have made the postseason with Melvin the previous 3 seasons, and you'll remember he was the manager of the year back in 2012, guys. And I know you're asking yourself, what is the latest on Matt Harvey? Well, I have that answer. After going back and forth on whether or not they should limit his innings.
Murph?
Yeah.
What's the latest on Matt Harvey?
Oh, well, thank you for asking, Tom. Let me tell you, after going back and forth about limiting his innings, they've decided that they will only allow him to pitch 2 more starts this season, regular season, and then in hopes of making the postseason, they'll have limited those innings. And they made it clear today, the Mets front office made it clear today, it's not just Harvey that they're worried about, it's also Syndergaard and DeGrom, and they do believe that at some point they will skip a start or 2 for them as well. So instead of having 4 starts left this season for Matt Harvey, he's going to have 2 in the regular season, and then, of course, will pitch in the postseason if the New York Mets do hold on and get there. So that is the latest on Matt Harvey.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that.
Well, thanks for asking.
Yep. Murph, that is one Jim Dandy of a mustache that the gentleman behind you has.
I'm not going to turn around and look.
You should.
You have to.
I saw it. It is. You're right. I could grow that in 4 years.
Yeah, really. Or go buy it at a novelty store. That is sharp. Line drive to center field. A base hit for Bethencourt. His 3rd of the night. Here's Michael Bourne. 17 hits now for the Braves. Well, you can see why the Phillies like Ogando. Just from sheer velocity by itself. I mean, oof. Up and away, 1 ball, no strikes to Bourne.
$14 singles, 2 doubles, and a homer.
Upstairs, 2-0.
That's what you call small ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and they've left a lot of guys on base, too. 2-0 to Michael Bourne. There's a strike at 96, 2-1. Well, cold hard facts, you talk about singles, not a lot of power for either one of these teams. We mentioned the Braves, 29 home runs since the All-Star break. Well, just 86 overall. The Phillies, 108. It's been a quiet year for the National League East, at least for the bottom 3 teams. Cameron Rupp just asked where that pitch was. Fly ball left center field. It's pretty well hit. Herrera on the run back toward the fence. It's off the wall. Bourne can fly. 2 runs will score, and Bourne will get to 3rd. And the lead is up to 7. It's 8-1 Atlanta Braves. That's a 4-hit night for Michael Bourne. It's his first triple since coming back to the Braves.
Gets his ball very well to left center. Yeah, right there he should have backed off, and he knew he couldn't get to it. Once you realize you're not going to be able to get to that ball. Now, it's easy to say when you're going 25 miles an hour to break it down.
Yeah, he was moving.
He was flying.
Well, Bob McClure out to talk to Ogando. And Todd Cunningham will be the pinch hitter for the Braves. Cunningham played in last night's ball game. Fastball, and it's 0-1.
Tight little slider right there.
Check swing. Did he go? Have to appeal that, right? I guess you don't have to.
Don't have to. I think we're kind of hoping they would have.
Red Sox signed Ogando when he was 20 years old as an amateur free agent. Actually, he was a month shy of his 20th birthday. That's kind of older for a kid from the Dominican Republic. A lot of times the top echelon players are signed when they're 16. But maybe his fastball had not developed at that point. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Cunningham. He got him. That's a crisp slider. Rupp will fire to first in time. The inning comes to a close. 2 more runs cross the plate for the Braves. They leave 1. Michael Bourne, a 4-hit night. He's helped the Braves to an 8-1 lead as we go to the bottom of the 8th. For live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCasts, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get the MLB.com at bat now. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning, and 2 changes for the Braves. Todd Cunningham, who just pinch hit, stays in the ball game. He'll play left field. There he is, just as he did last night. And the new pitcher is right-hander Edwin Jackson. 35th game for Jackson, the veteran right-hander, 2-2 with a 3.45 ERA. Edwin Jackson has done a lot of starting in his career, but now relegated to the bullpen. Signed with the Braves on the 14th of August. Started the season with the Chicago Cubs. He was granted his release from the Cubs on the 31st of July. 262 career starts in Edwin Jackson's career as a pitcher. 86 wins, 105 losses. Out of play, and it's 1-2 to Cesar Hernandez. Oh, between innings, Juan Samuel talking to Odubel Herrera about the play where Odubel went into the wall. You see how Sammy was sort of signaling how close he was to the wall. He was kind of telling him what you said, Matt, just kind of pull back a little bit, play it off the wall. Out to left field, Cunningham. At least we're assuming that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, and I have no problems with Odubel going after that ball, showing your head. That's what you want. But as a corner outfielder, you have to have the heads-up play of running over there, knowing that you can't catch the ball. Well, your job is to run towards center field, and you're the eyes for Herrera. Yelling to him if he has room or not. And busting your tail over to back up the play, because if it does come off the wall, you'll get the ball and you'll get the ball back in quicker, and you might save from a triple to a double. Watch this play on here. Sweeney is going towards this way here, where he should be going back out around to back up the play when it comes off the wall. So that's one thing about a learning process for outfielders, especially in this ballpark, is knowing the walls, knowing the angles, knowing if you can get to a ball and where you have to be to back up a play.
Fouls it back. It's 2-1. Yeah, and you're not saying that Sweeney could have even gotten to that ball, but would have been at least in a better position in case it shot back toward.
Right. The way Sweeney was going after the ball, he was going towards the Xfinity.
Right.
Let's say it hit off the 388, 387 sign.
Perfect.
It shoots back towards him this way.
Right.
That's the way you want to go. That's the one thing about playing in the big leagues for the first time, is just knowing the angles and what you need to work on.
2-2 to Odubel Herrera. Check swing. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Herrera. Odubel, when it comes to rookies around baseball coming into this ball game, he had the 4th highest average, including American League guys as well. He walks for the first time tonight. Now that's with 175 plate appearances, which is not the qualifying number, but just to throw 175 out there. Steven Piscotty is hitting .331. Francisco Lindor from the Twins, what a year he's had. Hitting .304 with a lot of ABs and plate appearances. Devin Travis from the Blue Jays, who's been out with that shoulder problem again. .304 as well. And then you had Odubel. But guys with the right amount of plate appearances, he's tops in baseball. He and Lindor. Altair lifts it to right. Markakis comes running in. with 2 outs. Ryan Howard comes up. And Odubel goes back to first base. By the way, today is Edwin Jackson's 32nd birthday. Odubel goes. The pitch is way upstairs. There'll be a little defensive indifference.
When I used to take off in that situation,
yeah,
the crowd would go crazy.
Yeah, they would.
Thinking I was getting a stolen base.
It's almost as if the bench signaled to Bethancourt to go out. I think they were trying to realign the infield defense.
I don't think anyone knows where they're going right now.
I don't think they understand where they're going to go. Simmons was going toward third. Now he's going back toward the middle. He's going to go on the second base side. Oliveira is going to come in to play third. Howard off the hands, a one-hopper to Freddie Freeman, and Ryan is 0 for 4 tonight. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits. 1 man left. We'll go to the 9th inning. Phillies trail it by 7. Series, all fans 15 and older will receive the knit hat compliments of Cabrini College. Tickets for the 4-game series and for the rest of this homestand can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Cubs, by the way, have wrapped up their series with the Cardinals, and they lost today 4-3. Time now for our WB Mason delivery of the game. Well, there are 18 hits, but this is the one that put the Braves ahead for good.
Yeah, this is in the 4th inning. Bethancourt, first pitch, opposite field home run, well struck. And that puts them up 2-1, and since the Atlanta Braves have not looked back, that is your WB Mason delivery of the game.
Here is Adam Lowen, 11th ball game for Lowen, and he's on to face the top of the order. The 18 hits for the Braves is a season high. Markakis fouls it toward the upper deck. One ball and one strike. Hey, you know who's pitched really well since being acquired? Is Jay Happ for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Has he?
Yeah. Had another good outing again tonight. 4th career double-digit strikeout game for Happ. Out to left field. Sweeney ventures toward the warning track and makes the catch. One away. You know, you talk about deadline deals. I mean, obviously the Cespedes one is the best out of any deal. I mean, David Price has certainly helped. Tulowitzki has certainly helped. But Jay Happ has helped stabilize that Pirates rotation to a certain extent with A.J. Burnett being out. Today he went 6 innings, allowed 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 10 strikeouts. One ball, no strikes. And it's 1-1 Oliveira.
Jay Happ, 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs, 10 punch outs.
102 pitches.
And the crazy Canuck, Avada got kicked out of the game today.
Was he not happy about balls and strikes?
Probably not.
Down in Washington, Papelbon gave up a run in the top of the 9th inning, and the Mets went on to get the final 3 outs in the bottom of the 9th. They have swept out the Washington Nationals. Their lead in the division is up to 7. Oliveira takes ball 4. And Freddie Freeman will be the hitter. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Good pitch, and it's 1-2.
Nolan has good stuff. It's just a matter of being able to repeat his delivery over and over and over.
He gets Freeman on a foul tip. He's made remarkable strides. I mean, you look at his earned run average and you see 9 here in September, but there have been a lot of strides made in 1 calendar year for Adam Lowe.
Absolutely. Getting back on the bump, pitching again. You know, being able to throw a slider like that to Freddie Freeman and strike him out.
Here's Pedro Siriaco, who's pinch hitting for the 3rd time in the series. Oh, and 1, a breaking ball. 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He went after a high heater. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lowen. No runs, no hits. One man left. On to the bottom of the ninth inning. Last chance for the Phils. They trail it by 7.
After this series, the Phillies will remain at home and welcome in the Cubs for a 4-game weekend series. And here are your pitching matchups for that series. On Thursday at 7:05, Jake Arrieta will take on the left-hander Adam Morgan for the Phils. On Friday, it'll be Kyle Hendricks versus Alec Asher for the Phils. On Saturday at 7:05, Dan Harron will take the ball for the Cubs, and Jared Eichhoff takes the ball for the Phillies. Sunday at 1:35, it'll be Jason Hamill and Aaron Nola, the 4 right-handers coming in to pitch to start for the Cubs when they come here into Philadelphia. But remember, guys, this one's not over yet.
Well, Murph, I hope not. I hope the Phils have something in them here as we go to the bottom half of the ninth inning. They haven't accomplished more than the 4 hits over the first 8. Well, that Cubs team, they're humming along, aren't they? I mean, they are going to be, it's only going to be a 1-game playoff in the postseason, but they are going to be tough for the Pittsburgh Pirates, or say if somebody overtakes the Cardinals. I doubt that's going to happen, but they're going to be tough for the Pirates. Ryan Kelly takes over, 12th ball game. You saw Siriaco, who takes over at third base. Darnell Sweeney takes a breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Popped him up right side. Freddie Freeman, the first baseman, gives way to Jace Peterson. 1 out. Well, it's been so long since the Braves had won a series that we were talking to Joe Simpson and Chip Carey, who do their television. And they actually had to think about it for a little while because they've struggled so much, and they have. The last time they won a series was when they swept out the Miami Marlins. As Ashe takes strike 1, it's 0-1. Freddie Gonzalez's team is much like the Phillies, have been scuffling for a lot of this year. Their scuffling has occurred here in the second half. Yeah, the last time they won a series was the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. They took 3 of 4 from the Miami Marlins. So it's been a month since the Braves won a series. 0-2 to Cody Ashe. Up and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. bit outside. 2-2 to Ashe.
Well, I will say this, though, with the two teams, I like the direction that our team is going more because we have the younger players here and we are rebuilding or have the players here to go forward with. And they still have some older players on their team.
There are two teams, two organizations that have revamped their farm system during this season. Both are in the top 10.
Atlanta's number 2 in baseball. They went from 29th to 2.
Now the Phillies went from
27 to 7th.
As she fouls it off to the left. Well, the Clearwater Threshers have been eliminated from the Florida State League playoffs. They lost to Daytona tonight 2-1. So Daytona wins both games. They'll advance to the championship. They'll take on the Charlotte Ball Club, the Tampa Bay Rays, Florida State League affiliate. But congratulations to Greg Legg and the Clearwater Threshers on what has been an outstanding season. The Hoskins kid you see there hit a home run. He had a very good year between Lakewood and Clearwater. A lot of good young pitching on the Clearwater Threshers. 2 outs. Cameron Rupp is last man standing. Rupp had a base hit his last time up. Takes up and away, or up and in, I should say. 1-0. Outside, 2-1.
Boys, Boston's beating up on Toronto. Baltimore came all the way back from 3-1 deficit to 5-3 lead now.
Over the Yankees. Boston has really scored a lot of runs in that series against the Blue Jays. This one's popped up toward the third base line. Foul territory. Siriaco crosses over into fair territory, makes the catch, and the ball game is over. The Atlanta Braves have taken 2 of 3 from the Phils as they win tonight 8-1. They banged out 18 base hits to secure tonight's victory. Well, the struggles here in the month of September continue to build for the Phils. Julio Teheran, you want to talk about methodical, workmanlike? He was that way tonight.
He was. He had a lot of late movement on his fastballs, a lot of ground balls. You know, about a 50-50 split with the pop-ups and the ground balls.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, makes a nice defensive play right here. And Cody Ashley, the one run he gives up. But I thought tonight he used his fastball was pretty good. He needed to get back and through about 94, 95 at times. The hardest pitch he threw in the night was the last pitch he threw at 95. But I thought tonight his changeup was pretty good and his slider is always very good. That's why he gave the Phillies a very hard time again tonight. That's why he's your Chevrolet player of the game.
So the Braves win 2 of 3. They win tonight 8-1. We'll be back to Philadelphia to wrap things up right after this.